Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our guests around the world. Thank you, Zane, for the warm welcome, the introductions, and those really kind words. We've had a fantastic day. It's been a day of rich discussions and engagements that started with several workshops this morning, that's South African time, that delved into leading through a crisis, transformation in our sector, the talent landscape post-COVID, and insights into how companies have integrated video into their customer engagement in this virtual world. So just a variety of relevant and rich topics. In the plenary session this afternoon, my colleagues, Director General Malebo Mbichi-Thompson, Sim Shabalala, Andreas Snyders, Renita Clark, and you've just heard Terry Hallard, have presented and shared rich and insightful content and perspectives, and many of them personal perspectives that all contribute to telling the story of South Africa and the GBS sector. I'll try to build on that context with a broad overview of the global business services sector and an explanation of what you can expect when choosing to set up a delivery center here as a captive or in partnership with your BPO partner. For those of you among the many big global brands who already have a presence here, you'll be familiar with a lot of what I'm going to cover, having experienced South Africa at first hand. However, for those of you looking for new geographies and possibly new partners, I hope that you'll gain new and useful insights to add to those that have already been shared and built from the previous speakers, and that these will convince you to place your business here and experience the value of the South African GBS offering while making a very significant and positive contribution to our country, our economy, and our people. Next, please. There are two sub-segments of the BPO sector in South Africa. A large sub-segment that services almost all the industry verticals in South Africa, and that you can see in the grey color chart, and a smaller but rapidly growing export segment in the orange color. At least that's what I hope you see. The date period in this chart reflects when the export segment really got underway, but it's important to note that there was an established capability in call centers, back office processing, and even shared services that preceded this by more than a decade. And this local expertise laid a solid foundation for South Africa to enter the export market, and it served us well by providing companies with an export focus, with the access to deep domain skills across industries and a footprint across the country upon which to build. Today, operators located here deliver services to the major GBS sourcing markets, mostly servicing English-speaking clients, but not exclusively, as we have global organizations offering as many as 10 different languages and multi-language CX centers. Granted, the latter are not at scale, as our strength is English language services, but that diversity is available. We're experiencing rapidly increasing interest from North America as the value and reliability of this geography becomes better known. While our traditional source market in the UK continues to grow with an expected uptick, as you heard Terry talk about the labour shortages and cost increases, which are placing growing pressures on that market to access affordable quality talent, and quickly so. Captives and BPOs service the more niche market of Australia, while our penetration of the African market grows and we remain connected to opportunities in the Asian markets. Export companies have used the local domain expertise that I talked about and added to this with their global capabilities to service the retail, telco, financial services, insurance, utilities, travel, education, and other sectors with distinction. We have a lot more to offer though in healthcare, logistics, automotive, and media, while we also grow our participation across other horizontals. Increasingly, over time, South Africa has received more attention and recognition for the value it offers, in particular since lockdown started last year, for its reliability to continue service delivery through times of great disruption. We believe that our number one position is a true reflection of the customer experience powered by the most amazing people that consumers of our services receive. And we intend to build on this, regardless of ranking, so that South Africa distinguishes itself as the geography where CX and HX converge and combine. Underpinning this distinctive customer experience is a value proposition, though, that brings together key elements that support quality service and inclusive growth at scale. Our CX capabilities, data and AI capabilities, deep domain skills, data and information security provisions, and digital and IT enablement are standout features. So what is on offer in terms of value and impact? With more than 16 million English speakers in the workforce and 40,000 added every year, whether it's first, second, or third language, this abundance of English-speaking talents is what enables us to respond rapidly to the need for quick mobilization and what allows us to enjoy a strong cultural affinity with our source markets. And you heard Sim talk about this in his conversations, where our services are very relatable and authentic, while the empathy, accountability, emotional connectedness, and intrinsic customer centricity are at the heart of our service proposition. Our university and our college system produce many graduates every year across key disciplines, and they include actuarial science, legal services, accounting, research and social science, science and ICT, and the healthcare and medical profession. The most significant for us, and has been a theme that's been talked about throughout the day, is our ability to access the large talent pool of incredible young people who face many barriers in accessing work opportunities in the formal economy. That could be their schooling, transport problems, extremely low levels of household income, single parent families, and disconnects in our legacy criteria for work, like a matric certificate or a degree, versus the more relevant criteria for being fit and proper for a job in today's times. Through our involvement as founding members of the Global Impact Sourcing Coalition, with the work of the Rockefeller Foundation and our amazing partners, Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator, South African GBS operators and supply-side service providers have pioneered the practice of impact sourcing and adopted it at ever-increasing scale. And we are the champions of the impact sourcing chapter in Africa and will continue to play our role as leaders in this field in the future. And you heard Kerry talk about the emphasis that the Global Council of Technology and Business Services is placing on impact sourcing and extending that practice across the globe as an imperative for us. Our partners in government support this practice, and through the job creation incentives and other key enablers such as the SA Youth Platform with our social partners, while government and business co-fund work readiness programs and programs to raise digital skills and build workplace skills of the future. 86% of our workforce is made up of young people under the age of 35. We have a youthful workforce. 65% of that workforce is made up of women, who are the bedrock of our society. And our workplace reflects the rich cultural diversity of our people. There's a richness and strength in this blend of age, gender, race, and culture that distinguishes the way South Africans deliver service from many other geographies. Inspired by the goal to become a true rainbow nation, our people are instinctively curious. They're open-minded, tolerant of differences, and highly collaborative. They work from the heart, and this is our strength in diversity. Renita has talked already about our connectivity and digital infrastructure, but I'd like to emphasize some of the key points. With access to a growing number of undersea cables of high speed and mega speed, South Africa is well connected with the world. Our east and west coast links also provide additional redundancy that adds to the reliability of service from this geography. We have a well-established ICT sector with very high levels of mobile and internet penetration. Renita spoke a lot about our digital infrastructure, so there's not much more for me to add other than to say that our providers are now rolling out 5G technology to complement the existing wireless and fiber capabilities. And as you can see from this slide, while those levels of mobile adoption and expanding wireless and fiber networks are enabling our communities outside of the big towns and cities are taking place, we're connecting these regions more quickly to enable greater access to learning and working opportunities and strengthening our already well-proven work from home capabilities. So not only though does South Africa offer great diversity in our people, but in our geography, our fauna and flora, and our living locations. And these 6 cities are where most of the GBS activity takes place, but this is spreading quickly into other adjacent cities and towns, and to other parts of the 9 provinces of our country. The lifestyle is good, with great facilities, top-class schools, and all the service and support that you need. And as South Africans, we enjoy this. We're accustomed to that diversity as we travel a lot internally. There's so much to enjoy and learn when visiting or working in new places. While we have concentrations of GBS activity, particularly in the Western Cape and KZN, more and more operators are expanding into other regions where they can choose from the abundant range of top quality facilities and property at very affordable rates. And it's only when you walk the floors of these buildings in South Africa that you truly appreciate the variety of sophisticated yet practical facilities that are available to you. And our pricing is on average competitive with most geographies. We're not the lowest cost destination and don't intend to be. But when you combine the cost proposition with our CX and HX quality proposition, that blend is so compelling that what we've enjoyed is a compounded annual growth rate in new jobs of more than 27% for the past 4 years. And this is headed upwards of that well into the future as more countries experience that value. We're not on your doorstep, but when comparing travel from our key source markets to the Philippines and India, the few extra hours of travel will be more than worthwhile when you measure those in terms of the return on your investment. Now, let's talk about how we can support you. BPESA's role, together with our partners, is to provide market information and research to you, to plan, manage, and coordinate the implementation of strategic skills initiatives, to reskill, upskill, and future skill our workforce. We work together with our partners to mobilize and engage each other to collaborate and participate in the different industry activities that stimulate demand, that build a sustainable supply of skills, and contribute to the growth and transformation of our economy. And we serve as a liaison point between our industry members and our partners in government, where we can lobby for policy changes that are conducive to businesses' growth at scale. And our purpose is to market South Africa to the world as an attractive place to offshore their businesses, thereby stimulating our local job creation, particularly for our unemployed youth, that rich talent pool, while coordinating industry role players to provide that sustainable supply of skills and create a sector that can remain competitive and grow. The Department of Trade, Industry and Competition offers a one-stop shop through Invest SA, which is headed up by our partner, Unanswered. This team represented in South Africa and in all our trading markets is there to offer advice. They can offer assistance with all your company registration matters, tax, compliance, and all other matters related to doing business in South Africa. Invest SA work very closely with us to connect you to the suppliers in the country so you don't have to worry about the admin challenges of a new geo. And we work closely together to ensure that should you face any obstacles, we can address these quickly while always ensuring that you're aware of the many opportunities to avail yourselves to. The net impact of the government's DTIC GBS incentives for new export job creation can be as high as a 15% drop in your OPEX. The 5-year scheme is designed with business input and it's implemented by our partners in the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition and reviewed every 5 years to make sure that it's relevant, competitive and effective for our goals. And these incentives are complemented by other national, provincial and local government offers that can best suit your needs, and they range from skills funding to the use of government property to special incentives for setting up in our special economic zones and others. Importantly, we offer you support from a very strong partnership between BPESA, the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, and our social partners, Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator. And this partnership, which was established in 2017, plays a huge role in leveraging their resources, expertise and networks to create an environment that's conducive to inclusive growth at scale in a sustainable manner. With a strong and growing network of partners in regional governments, the professional development field, adjacent industries, business platforms, analysts, influencers, industry bodies, and global organizations such as the Global Technology and Business Services Council, we're working to demonstrate that 1 + 1 = 3 effect for our investors and our local stakeholders. In closing, I want to share a few thoughts on behalf of BPESA and our partners on how we see the future. You've heard the economic outlook from Sim and from Andre, and I'd like to share the industry outlook. So to 2023, we see continued compounded growth between 25 and 30% per annum, continued momentum with the existing brands scaling up work and new brands coming into the country with the momentum that they have been in these past number of months, niched engagements in the Australian market and the retention of existing business in our UK market, but with good growth in key industries, and strong growth and new business from the North American market, while we expect continued moderate growth in the rest of Africa, Asia, and other regions. Much of the growth in the short to medium term will come from CX work, but it will be complemented by emerging niche services, digital and RTO work that's really solution focused. And there'll be a growing investor appeal for location diversity in our country across the multiple sites and regions that we have on offer. The rapid rollout of fibre and acceleration of digital transformation will continue, and this will strengthen our ability to offer hybrid work from home and on-premise solutions while developing our digital and workplace skills of the future. The priority status that we enjoy with our government partners will continue, as will the high levels of collaboration and support that you've heard about today from our colleagues directly. And there'll be growing adoption of socially conscious and impactful sourcing practices with an awareness of the leading role that South Africa plays in this. There'll be real value, real impact, and you'll be able to leave a legacy. And if we extend that outlook to 2023, you heard from DG Malebo earlier this afternoon. Tomorrow's a really big milestone day for us, where we will be signing into being the master plan for the sector, together with the Minister of the DTRC, Minister Patel and his team, and our industry representatives. And this plan will chart the way forward to 2030, with key initiatives already identified across 5 key focus areas. They'll focus on demand, we'll look at skills development, we'll look at the rollout of our physical and digital infrastructure, we'll focus on transformation, and we'll ensure that we can build an industry that's sustainable for long-term growth and to serve as strong partners to our investors. And that will take us to our 2030 goals. We looked at different scenarios, but what we're presenting here today is the high case scenario. This is what we're aiming for and where we are already headed. And so we invite you to invest in this great country and make an economic and social impact, benefit from the value you will derive, and join us on this journey as we play our role in enhancing and enriching the global business services sector. And with that, I'll thank you and close.